There was some frantic work going on at the service halt. Last year's winner, Mark Breckel, was leading the field after the first quarter, but was starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah, very well. Vickers is just behind me, so I've got to move quick.
Another drum.
Chasing him was the cool, calm and collected-looking Van Deventer, and there was a relaxed atmosphere around in the Gauloise Blondes pit area. Not far away, it was a different story in the Joburg Yamaha pit.
Yeah, it's tough. It's difficult to overtake the cars. They don't see you. And once you're behind them in the dust, you can't see a thing. I nearly crashed twice, so gotta take it quite easy. Try and get to the finish tonight.
Some clever fuel tank strategy by the FMF Kawasaki team saw Clayton Enslin at the head of the bike field, followed by Graham McLaughlin on the Shell Honda. Pre-race favourite Alfie Cox had dropped back after falling into a hole in the notorious riverbed section, but was clearly in a hurry to get to the service where proper repairs could be carried out to his motor, which had overheated as a result of a punctured radiator. These refuel points provide for some interesting insights into race strategy, as one false move can result in fuel being spilt, and with bikes being marginal on fuel, this can be catastrophic. Darryl Curtis loses little time. Showing that he can still mix it with the youngsters was Jeremy Davies, who's won this event many times when it was still based in the Freiburg area. Spencer Creel was another rider still in touch with the leaders, and he leaves the refuel in a hurry, but he's not quick enough, and he's forced to eat dust from one of the Ladeneva entries. Also in a hurry is Wayne Farmer, who has a narrow advantage over rival Rian Fanikak in the battle for the 200 class honours. Dalton shows exactly how fast the pace is as he flashes past the camera. It was like the breakfast run on sand as bike after bike flashed past in quick succession. Greg Aspinall lifts his front wheel and is followed by Evan Pretorius, Quinton Milton, Carl LaRue and a choked quad rider Johan van Wil sucks in the Kalahari sand. It's interesting to compare riders' fortunes as they arrive at service. Fanikak is in a strong position and wants his face washed, while teammate Chris Dodd's race was brief.
Well, I played start, so at least it happened at the start of the race and then towards the end. 20 k's out, hit the leg, back wheel kicked up and I went over the handlebars and I landed on my shoulder and broke my collarbone. So yeah, I guess I'll be helping Marshall.
Reinecker and Houghton were home first at the end of the day. While some of the younger generation seemed oblivious to the proceedings, others watched keenly from lofty perches. Both crew members looked remarkably fresh as they emerged from the office after a day's work. SA 4x4 editor Derek Lawley was quick to quiz Houghton about the day as Reinecker faced the camera.
So that was our biggest thing.
We had a nice run. We had to stop this morning for fixing a power steering pipe. It cost us about 10 minutes of time, and we had a puncture on the second loop, but we're quite happy. Of course, in one piece, there's nothing wrong with the car, and we're looking very forward for tomorrow, so we're very happy with our result of today.
Next to complete the first half of the race with a Chepex.
We started out in 17th position and gradually worked our way forward and seemed to have come in first overall at this stage. It was a long day, we got a puncture, but otherwise the car ran beautifully and we had a good smooth run.
Once the times had been corrected, the Chepex held a 3-minute advantage over the Toyota as the Schilling-Thorn combination were third, less than a minute ahead of Lambert and Faree. Tony and Mandy Yo held second in the production category, but were almost an hour behind class rivals Reinecker and Houghton. There was a very close battle for third in the production category as the Birkins had a 38-second lead over Cecil Fincham and Flick de Klerk. As expected, McLaughlin ended the day at the top of the motorcycle timesheets after Enslin's fuel plan backfired and he ran dry. Dalton's good ride continued and he was second with more than 3 minutes in hand over Davies, which gave the Shell Honda team first, second and third. Fanikak had a huge lead in the 200 class and was giving the 250 and 500 riders a good run for their money.
This morning it was very dusty, very dusty. It's the dustiest race I've had in a long time. All the guys took a lot of strain. I think there were a couple of accidents. I think this morning we all just took it a bit easier to get through the dust. Once we got going in the sandy sections, it wasn't that dusty, and I just pushed hard the whole day. When some of the top guys had a bit of problems, I saw that, and I saw a gap, and I just thought, well, if I push hard, I can make quite a lead.
Dubai resident David McBride was invited to this race by Alfie Cox and gives us an insight into the racing over there.
Yeah, it's very dusty, and we always go in front of the cars. We don't have to put up with dust from cars or four-wheelers or anything like that. But no bushes, and it's a lot more hillier, over hills and just raw dunes, like 2,000-3,000 feet high.
By the end of the day, Van Deventer had established himself at the head of the quad pack with a 5-minute lead over Breckel. The rest were way behind, and it was still de Villiers leading the little 200 class.
Die route van Merk was baie goed. Die hele route op zichzelf is baie goed. Ek hou van die tweede loop. Dit is nie meer so vervelig soos laas jaar, die lang seksies nie. Maar net die stof, man. Ja, die stof is 'n groot probleem hierso. En ek sien van die motorfietsse sonder petrol gaan staan. Daryl Kut is gaan staan, Fluit en Enklin het gaan staan. Dit is eintlik baie hartseer dat mens kom so ver, mens wil sukses hê as jy na so wedren toe kom.
Well, this is a service point, and this is one place where everybody expects to get to in daylight. As you can see, Piet Swanepoel wasn't expecting to get there too early because he's got such a tiny tent, it takes him a minute to put it up. But it's really a great camaraderie around there. The guys sit down and braai together and have a post-mortem and discuss what happened during the race, and if only, you know, we call this if only racing. And Rashid Noble, he doesn't do anything small. He makes sure that he brings the whole show to the service point.
Well, this is a nice race coming out, spending the night in the bush. We start up tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think it's part of the spirit.
Well, George doesn't look like such a happy guy. You know, I raced with Kenny last year, and he's having a time in this Pajero, but he's a battler and he'll be there at the end.
Camping is good. It's going to be bloody cold though tonight. I think it's going to be about 5 or 6 degrees minus. But we'll have fun. At least we can work all night on the vehicle, make sure it's ready for tomorrow.
For children, it was playtime as parents gathered around the numerous fires that lit up the campsite, and the familiar smell of bride meat mingled with exhaust gases and welding equipment to create the unique atmosphere of the Toyota 1000 Desert Race. For Mike Potgieter and Gary Hodgson in their VW Beetle, completing the day was an achievement. It was truly a team effort, as Potgieter lost the use of his hand in an earlier accident.
Very well important. Gary, he changes gears for me, and he navigates at the same time. And we seem to, it's our first time together, and it's working very well, Gary. He seems to be able to read my thoughts and knows when I want to change gears. 1 or 2 slips, but that's it. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah, most of these guys aren't in for an easy night's sleep because some of the competitors have broken down and they're going to get into the bottle and have a few dops and enjoy the felt.